Welcome back. Today we are going to look at how we can write an expression or equation to represent a relationship. The first few slides I'm going to show you consist of keywords that mean a certain operation in math. So make sure that you have these words in your notes. So the first slide deals with addition. This next slide deals with subtraction. So all of these words mean to subtract. Multiplication, division, and a couple of words that mean the equal sign. All right, we are ready to apply everything that we've learned so far, recognize keywords that mean a certain operation, solving equations to solve word problems. And we are going to walk through a 7-step strategy. The first example that we're going to look at is this one right here. The sum of a number and 9 is multiplied by -2. And the answer is -8. Find the number. All right, what is our first step? Our first step is to determine the unknown, meaning what are we trying to find? You can answer this question usually by finding the answer, finding the question, or sometimes it tells you right away. If you look at the example, this is what they want you to find. So we're looking for a number. Step 2, you want to assign a variable for the unknown. And you can pick any variable that you like, but I'm going to use n. So I assigned n to be our number that we're looking for. Step 3, we need to identify and underline keywords and phrases. I've identified the sum of a number and 9. I know that I'm adding my number, which is represented by the variable n, and 9. So I'm going to have n plus 9. Next, I read is multiplied by -2, meaning I'm going to take the sum and I'm going to multiply it by -2. The next key phrase is the answer is -8. This means when I multiply, I will get -8. So what we're going to do is we're going to put all the pieces of our equation together, and that will take us to step 4, writing an equation. Our equation is -2 times the quantity of n plus 9 equals -8. Now, the only difference between these pieces of information and our equation is that this -2 goes in front. You can leave the way it is, but in math, the conventional way is to write your coefficient, okay, in front. What do you think the next step after writing an equation is? You're right, solving the equation. So let's solve this equation. And give me a second to get my notes ready. All right, so make sure that you're working this out with me. By now, hopefully you are more familiar with solving equations. Okay, I'm going to copy down the equation. You have -2 times the quantity of n plus 9 equals -8. We have parentheses here, so that means we are going to use the distributive property. We're going to take -2 times n, that gives us -2n. We're going to cross that n out to remind us that we still need to take care of this 9. Then we'll take the -2 times the 9, and that's -18. Bring down the equal sign. Bring down -8. Next, we are going to box the term with our variable. This is what we want to keep. This is what we want to undo. The reverse operation of subtracting 18 is adding 18. So we need to do the same to both sides to keep our equation balanced. Bring down -2n. -18 and +18 cancel out because they equal 0. Bring down the equal sign. -8 plus 18, that's +10. Then we are going to box our variable. That's what we want to keep, and this is what we want to undo. Remember, even though we have a -2, that doesn't mean we're subtracting -2. -2n means we are multiplying n by -2. That means the reverse operation of multiplying by -2 is dividing by -2. -2 divided by -2 is equal to 1, leaving us with just 1n. 10 divided by -2, that's equal to -5. We solve our equation, but does that mean we have answered our question? Well, let's continue. Okay, as you can see here, the slide says that we solved our equation. N is equal to -5, that's what we ended up with. Step 6, answer the question in the problem. Again, in order to do this, you need to go back to step 1. And even though it doesn't show here, you can look at your notes and see that we are looking for a number. So the solution to our equation represents the number that we are looking for. So here we answer our question. The number that we're looking for is -5. Then the last step is to check our answer, because sometimes we can end up with an answer that doesn't make sense or doesn't work. So we always need to do that. And how do we check for our answer? Well, again, let's do this quickly. We need to copy down our original equation, which is -2 times the quantity of n plus 9 equals -8. We are going to replace n with -5. We have -2 times -5 plus 9. Since we don't know if it's equal to -8 yet, that's why we're checking. We'll put a question mark up here. Order of operations, we need to do inside the parentheses first. -5 plus 9, that's 4. -2 times 4. And now we can see that -2 times 4, that's -8. And -8, that's equal to -8. Okay? So then our answer makes sense. There we go. You think you're ready to try a couple of examples? Now these are hard, so make sure that you take your time and follow the 7-step strategy. Okay?